Welcome to the Dispatch. You are listening to a primer on Jammu and Kashmir. What was the position of Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah and National Conference in difficult of circumstances of 1947? Find this out in episode 42.
The year 1947 placed the National Conference and its leader, Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah, at the center of Jammu and Kashmir's political storm. No organization in the state possessed a comparable structure or public presence, yet the party itself was passing through a delicate phase. Sheikh Abdullah remained imprisoned following the Quit Kashmir agitation, senior figures were under surveillance, and its relationship with the Dogra administration was strained. As the political climate in the subcontinent darkened after partition, the position of the National Conference evolved rapidly in response to the escalating crisis. When British paramountcy lapsed in August 1947, the National Conference was not part of the Maharaja's decision-making circle. Abdullah remained in jail, but his influence in the valley had not diminished. The party's working committee, led by Mirza Afzal Beg and Bakshi Ghulam Muhammad, kept organizational networks active while closely monitoring developments in India and Pakistan. The leadership made clear that any future political arrangement should ensure responsible government and safeguard the civil and political rights set out in the Naya Kashmir program. The National Conference watched the state's neutral stance with increasing unease. The standstill agreement concluded with Pakistan, combined with the delayed release of Sheikh Abdullah, created frustration within the organization. Many party workers feared that prolonged indecision would leave the state vulnerable to both internal unrest and external pressure. Yet the party avoided direct confrontation, focusing instead on preparing for Abdullah's eventual release and assessing how political power could be used in a rapidly changing environment. The tribal invasion in October 1947 transformed the National Conference's role almost overnight. As news spread of the Lashkar's advance and of the breakdown of order in Muzaffarabad and Baramulla, senior National Conference figures called for Abdullah's immediate release. The Maharaja's administration, facing an escalating military crisis and recognizing the party's capacity to provide civilian support, ordered his release. Abdullah emerged from prison into a situation of emergency and immediately assumed a central role in mobilizing public support for the state's defense. The National Conference threw its organizational structure behind efforts to protect the valley. Volunteers helped maintain order in Srinagar, assisted civilians fleeing affected areas, and provided logistical support to the administration and the incoming Indian forces. Abdullah addressed large public gatherings, urging unity, discipline, and resistance against the invading forces. His speeches during these days emphasized the danger posed by external intervention and the need to safeguard the state's political future through practical cooperation with India. On the issue of accession, the National Conference leadership adopted a position shaped by both political conviction and strategic necessity. While the Maharaja had hesitated for months, the tribal invasion left no viable intermediate option. Abdullah and his senior colleagues argued that accession to India, limited to defense, external affairs, and communications, was the only step that could stabilize the state and prevent the valley from falling to the raiders. Their support became critical in assuring New Delhi that accession would have public backing in the state's largest region. Although the decision to sign the instrument of accession rested legally with the Maharaja, the National Conference's alignment with India at this crucial moment shaped the political landscape that followed. It ensured a cooperative relationship with the Indian Union during the initial period of military operations and provided the newly arriving forces with a civilian partner capable of maintaining order in Srinagar. The party's stance also made clear that, despite earlier antagonism with the Dogra regime, the defense of the state and the protection of its people took precedence over internal political disputes. Seen from today's perspective, the turbulent months of 1947 were the moment when Sheikh Abdullah and the National Conference moved from opposition politics into the center of the state's survival. Their actions during the tribal raid and their support for accession became decisive elements in shaping Jammu and Kashmir's political direction at a time when events were unfolding at extraordinary speed and under severe pressure.
Thanks for watching this episode of Primer on Jammu and Kashmir. Here is a quick note from the editors of the Dispatch. While dealing with historical events, we are conscious of the fact that history has no single view. In places like Jammu and Kashmir, this can be more complicated. While explaining the events of history through this primer, we are taking the best possible care to be objective and to offer context wherever views differ starkly. We welcome you to write to us and enrich the knowledge base on Jammu and Kashmir.